Hi everyone, this is Balázs from Racing Brick. Yes, I was surprised too, but 2 years flew by and here we are again, speculating about the 1/8 scale LEGO Technic Supercar for 2024. Before we get started, I have a small favor to ask of you. I would like to reach 200,000 subscribers before Christmas. If you are not subscribed yet, please smash that button so you can enjoy my LEGO content every week with lots of cars and Technic, but also much more. I published a video in January 2022 where I tried to guess which car we will get that year. Back then there were only 3 of these bad boys: the 42056 Porsche 911 GT3 RS, the 42083 Bugatti Chiron, and the 42115 Lamborghini Sian FKP37. As all these brands belong to the Volkswagen Group, I was expecting something from the same stable, so I was guessing an Audi supercar. The second guess, if we look beyond the Volkswagen Group, was a Ferrari, and, as we know, the 42143 Ferrari Daytona SP3 was unveiled in May 2022. There were some interesting rumors at the time, by the way. There was speculation about the Peugeot 9X8 Hybrid, and I'm not sure if that was a lucky guess or something really leaked that early, but in May this year we got this Technic version of the Peugeot Le Mans race car, but only in 1/10 scale. Another strong contender was the Mercedes AMG 1, but as most of you probably know, an officially licensed 1/8 scale version of that car was released by Coda earlier this year, so it's unlikely that LEGO will go for the same model next year. So, what else do we have? What could the 1/8 scale LEGO Technic Supercar be in 2024 and why? Before I share my list with you, here's a little history lesson on LEGO's licensing strategy for cars. Before the Porsche 911 GT3 RS came onto the market in 2016, there were already other Speed Champion sets from the brand. The same thing happened with the Bugatti, and that was actually the same model, a Speed Champions Chiron in 2017, then the Technic version the next year. The Lamborghini was interesting because LEGO already had some of those in the Racers theme more than a decade ago, but it wasn't until 2020 that we got the Speed Champions double pack, and the Sian came later the same year. LEGO has a super long history with Ferrari. They were already making red LEGO cars in the previous century, but if you look a little closer, there were several Speed Champions sets before the big one arrived. So again, I see a pattern here. I could be wrong, of course, but I think the brand LEGO chooses for 2024 should have already released at least one Speed Champions car. Well, I don't think LEGO will be making models of these 4 brands, so what's left? Pagani, McLaren, Aston Martin, Lotus, Koenigsegg, and that's about it. I know there's a big bunch of American brands too, but I don't think any of them would be a realistic choice. We already have the Ford GT here, and it's not a new model. The Chevrolet Corvette has some great performance models, but it's not a supercar. Of course, I would still love to see a Dodge Ram SRT10 in Technic form, but that's not going to happen, and it's not exactly new and not a supercar either, so I think that's the list to choose from. Each of these companies have relatively recent models, some even more than one, and they make fantastic cars, but I don't think Pagani and Koenigsegg are well known enough to be considered. That's my experience with these Speed Champions models. A lot of people were confused and had to look up these brands. Well, I don't think that would ever happen with the British trio here, and virtually any of them could be the chosen one. My bet, this is completely unscientific, I have no insider information or anything like that, so my bet is on McLaren. McLaren has the Speedtail, which looks fantastic and has hybrid technology, but it's not that new, so I am personally expecting the 750S, which will probably be the last model from McLaren with an old-school twin-turbocharged V8. I could be wrong, of course, but unlike last time, I don't think LEGO will go for an electric supercar. 2 years ago, I really thought they would follow the trends and try something new, but given the new gearbox parts introduced in the Yamaha motorcycle this year, I'm sure they won't be unique to that set. I expect these parts to be used in a refined gearbox for next year's supercar, and well, electric cars are not famous for their complex gearboxes. Now, what about the color? McLaren's signature color is undoubtedly orange. The Porsche was orange, so I wouldn't expect a return to that color, but what else would it be? We've also had red and blue, and even green is used. But if the car isn't going to be a McLaren, it's still a difficult question. Aston Martin has to be green. Lotus, well, I see those guys like yellow. So maybe a yellow Lotus then, that would be interesting. But what about the functions? As I mentioned, I expect the new gearbox parts to be used, but what else could be included as a new feature? I would still like to see adjustable suspension, that would be nice. If we get a hybrid car, we could expect something similar to the Peugeot 9X8's fake electric motor. But what else? Aside from the usual fake engine, opening doors and maybe an opening spoiler, I really wonder if the 1/8 scale Technic category can show us something new. I hope they won't just focus on the exterior this time. I really like the path they took with the Ford GT and the Peugeot. These are dense, function-oriented models. I would like to see something similar in a bigger scale. What about you folks? This is a complex topic, so I would love to see you answering 3 questions in the comment section. First, what is your realistic expectation for the LEGO Technic supercar in 2024? Second, what would you like to see as the 1/8 scale LEGO Technic vehicle in 2024? A supercar, an SUV, an off-road vehicle? What is your dream LEGO car in this scale? And the third question, what features would you like to see in the vehicle? I would love to hear your theories and wishes, so let's fill the comment section with great ideas. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe with notifications because there will be more exciting LEGO videos coming soon. See you next time, bye bye.